This is the Tom Bigby Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. I write about a small town in northeast Mississippi on the Tom Bigby River, and sometimes I write about the rest of the state. This is episode 14 in Heritage Academy's expose, and it's titled For the Love of Sports. Heritage Academy loves to be known for their sports. They are proud of their district and state championships of the past, and they put banners up in the gym to celebrate them. Sports is an important motivator for keeping children engaged in their school community across American society. In the Deep South, youth sports is a religion and treated as more precious than a solid education. And high school sports is not only the cornerstone of many communities in the South, but where race, religion, and political affiliations mostly have no place. It is also where, especially the young men of the community, often reach the pinnacle of their athletic success and will rely on these memories to bond with other men in the future in boardrooms, courtrooms, living rooms, and the Methodist Men's Bible Study Group. Then their kids must play the same sports at the same school, i.e., Heritage Academy, so they can live vicariously through their kids, especially those dads who probably dreamed of playing college ball but barely left the bench in high school to get noticed by their own coach, much less a college recruiter. Those same dads tell their stories of past injuries while they rub a knee or a shoulder while regaling their pals on what might have been. But Heritage Academy was supposed to be different. It was supposed to be about academic excellence and inclusivity in sports. Heritage was founded to protect the white superiority of the little children of Columbus, their daughters' virginity for white males, and to give their privileged sons and daughters a safe place to learn sanitized history and literature. Sports were part of the school, but not the primary focus of the students, parents, or administrators back in the day. High test scores, good grades in challenging subjects, and acceptance at multiple highly sought after out of state schools was the norm and a reasonable expectation at that time. Top notch teachers were employed. Mrs. Eleanor Hairston, Mr. Caldwell, and many other master teachers pushed the students toward these goals. Mrs. Hairston would laugh. She was Mrs. Hoston. But about the 10 years into its founding, Heritage Academy and all its sister segregationist academies decided that football, basketball, and baseball were more important than the other three R's that were taught there. Now, not only did the parents demand a segregated school with some to play sports where they would not be competing with the unwashed masses or, gasp, with young men of color, so that their child would have a first string position on a local sports team. They now also wanted championships and trophies for that school so that they could brag about that as well. Rivalries arose. Leake Academy versus Heritage, Starkville Academy versus Heritage, Oak Hill versus Heritage, and Pillow Academy versus Heritage, all turned into huge rivalries on the gridiron. A 7 foot tall center helped to make basketball popular too. Time marched on and baseball grew in favor and got a gorgeous field and a field house and grew in popularity as well. More and more money was funneled into developing athletic venues and supporting players. This included more money spent on recruiting competitive coaches and resulted on little or no increase in spending on educational items like teachers, laboratories, textbooks, library holdings, art class supplies, etc. All the time, money, and energy was transferred from the actual education areas of the school into sports. New floors for the gyms, new seating, banners, uniforms, buses, cheer team, cheer sponsors, coaches training events, tournaments, etc. The classes got band-aid level attention at best. The cinder block walls got another coat of cheap paint every other year. The chalkboards were replaced not with true whiteboards, but with cheap showerboard. The floors got another coat of wax. The threadbare hall carpets got shampooed year after year, and the lockers got dents knocked out with a rubber mallet year after year since their installation in 1964. The building looks run down and dated, and the landscaping looks like no one cares about the school. But the football field is carefully lined and grass tended each week. The basketball court shines so bright you can see your reflection. And the baseball field is so fabulous, a local college rents it for their games. Parents pay top dollar for their kids to go to Heritage and play on the teams there. Tuition is $8,800 a year at the high school and does not include extras for team related fees. The sports fee alone, which I believe is rolled into the tuition fee, is $250. The uniform fees run from just under $100 to well over $1,000 per sport. If your child is a three-sport athlete, your cost out of pocket on top of tuition could easily be an additional $3,000 on top of the roughly $9,000 in tuition. It is the same price for her junior high as it is in the high school. This does not include the personal items each player needs, like practice cleats or tennis shoes and protective gear. Playing sports at any school costs something out of pocket, but the added expense of multiple uniforms per sport is an extra burden on families who scrimp and save to send their kids to Heritage. Yes, there are people who are very wealthy there, but I would say many of those are the exception and not the rule. In recent years, the school has recruited multiple scholarship students specifically to play key positions on Heritage sports teams so that the school can be more competitive in the MAIS. These students do not pay the sport fees, they don't pay for uniforms, and their tuition and lunch are provided by their scholarship. That's a pretty sweet deal if you can get it. I have heard from many parents regarding both boys and girls sports, however. Tonight, I will focus on the boys program since they have gone through so much change in recent years at the end of each season and in some cases in the middle of the season. It ain't pretty either. Let's start with football. A few years ago, the school had a solid quarterback who'd grown up in the Heritage program and who was highly recruited by local and foreign colleges. Foreign, out of state colleges. His junior year, they won a scholarship with a great group of players behind him who were mostly seniors. His family moved away after his junior year and a new quarterback was needed. The former junior varsity quarterback was brought up to play, but he still lacked strength and stamina, so another player who also had played quarterback among other positions was also brought up. There was a new head coach from Upora, and the JV quarterback lost the position to the bigger and faster player. But the team was not as solid, it was young, and it was smaller. The coach brought several players in on scholarship from Upora. I believe they rode to school with him every day as well. Heritage did not win the championship that year, but the young team got a lot of experience. The Upora coach left by Christmas. The next year, under yet another head coach, the primary quarterback focused on baseball as he planned to play baseball in college and wanted to avoid injury. He'd already had a previous injury, I believe, as a freshman. So the former JV quarterback got his chance finally as he had grown taller and stronger. He was okay, he was solid, but not stellar. This year, head of school Sean Harrison joined returned head coach Tobias Smith, coaching the football team. There were two really good quarterbacks who were on the high school team this year, plus the former JV quarterback. One of the quarterbacks was incredibly solid and had played the position at his former school in another state. He had a really good arm, could read the field quickly, and was fast. He was super strong on the field in practice. He was light years better than the former JV quarterback and was told he would be the starting quarterback for the Patriots this school year. The other quarterback on the sideline is also a top-notch multi-sport athlete and lightning quick. He demonstrated a maturity seldom seen in a high school quarterback. But neither he nor the new student from out of town ever saw the field as quarterback. The average JV quarterback, now an average high school quarterback, was given the position. Why? Why would a school so set on winning not go with the best quarterback? It is said that all three young men are great young men on and off the field. All are well respected by their teachers and coaches. Why did Smith and Harrison not go with the best quarterback of the three? Could it be because of who the parents are? Could it be connected to promises coaches made to donors to the school? What does the school board know about this? Many of them have children on this same team. Does the board ever ask the coaches the hard questions that are being discussed in the stands by all the parents? Or do they just turn a blind eye as long as their children are benefiting from what may be happening? It makes you wonder why Sean Harrison, the head of school, is so busy being Coach Sean Harrison, the offensive coordinator. Shouldn't he be running the whole school and not be so invested in football? It seems like his priorities are a bit mixed up. The junior high and JV boys sports program is a joke at best. They have darn few games scheduled in any sport and spend the last period of every class day training. Basically, that means they do whatever chores the coaches need done, from cleaning and organizing that season's sporting facility and getting the place ready for the varsity team to come in and either practice or play a game. This is specifically true in seventh grade baseball. The baseball situation is a complete mess. Coach Ball, a beloved coach, was fired for allegedly having an affair with another married teacher on school grounds. A new coach was hired, and rather than giving all players a fair shake at trying out for positions, he essentially took Coach Ball's lineup and never made a change. He only gave coaching attention to the varsity team, pretty much neglected the JV players, and completely ignored the junior high. While this is not unusual for the JV and junior high to not get as much attention from the head coach as the varsity team's win-loss records decides that coach's future out of school, it is abysmal that dads had to step up and coach games on many occasions due to no coaches being at the junior high game for the team. These parents are paying an awful lot of money for their kids to not be coached at their own games. Yeesh. Then there is soccer. Poor, misunderstood soccer. The boys' soccer team is treated like redheaded stepchildren, yet they consistently play well year after year at Heritage. The coaches are paid the least and get the least support from the school financially and physically. Heck, I've seen the coaches who are both teaching in the day out on the field after practice, mowing the field for the next day's game, while the field lights keep getting shut down on them. Why are coaches having to maintain a field when there are paid groundskeeper who keep those same fields maintained during football season? Don't the soccer students pay the same athletic fee that varsity football and varsity baseball pay? Why are their field of play not equally maintained? Why are some sports and students who play those sports more equal at Heritage than others? Is anyone even concerned about the children at this school? Do they only care about how the varsity Big Three boys teams perform? Is Heritage Academy really only another school chasing athletic trophies? It would appear that those high moral standards and academic achievement that once were so critical to the school are now just window dressing for the marquee. Maybe they should change their motto to Heritage Academy, home of varsity football, basketball, and baseball teams that play at nice athletic facilities on our campus paid for by our parents. Until next time.